It was a ghostly dawn, a misty half-light in York. No church bell rang. The dying man, Oldroyd, stared up at me, and his hand gripped my robe.
The king! The king!
He lay on his back on shards of glass in his glazier's cart. A big piece had spiked him through and protruded from his stomach.
No child of Henry and Catherine Howard can ever be true heir.
What is this?
She knows.
What?
Playborn. Playborn. No.
In London, not 2 weeks before, had come the news of my own father's death. Grieving and guilty, I discovered that the farm where I grew up and which now was mine was deep in debt, and the value of the land wouldn't clear it. It was in this turmoil that I was summoned to Lambeth Palace by Archbishop Cranmer himself. I thought I was done with visits to great men.
Times are hard, Master Shardlake, for those who worked for Lord Cromwell.
Yes, my lord.
I wish they'd take his head from London Bridge. I see what the gulls have left each time I cross. I was sorry to hear your father had died. May God rest his soul.
Yes, my lord. His funeral is 2 days from now in Lichfield.
The king is well north of there already, at Hatfield.
In the spring, a fresh rebellion was nipped in the bud in Yorkshire, and the king had decided to take a great progress, the greatest ever seen in England, up to awe the Northmen and to establish his Majesty's power and authority. 3,000 people were on the progress, and when they'd left, people said the carts stretched along the road for over a mile.
The king has promised the Northmen his justice. At every town he invites petitioners with complaints against local officialdom, and lawyers are needed to sort through them, to weed out the petty and the foolish, and arbitrate where they can. One of the lawyers on the progress has died, poor fellow. He took pneumonia. We need a replacement. I remembered you. You'd return with the progress next month and bring back £50 for your work.
The reward is generous, my lord. It will solve some financial concerns I have. I will go, my lord. Thank you.
Good. Now, I also have a small private mission for you in York. Do not worry, sir, there is no scurrying after danger in this. It requires only a certain authority of manner and, above all, discretion. They are a barbarous people in the north, still mired in papist heresy. After the Spring Rebellion was uncovered, many of the conspirators escaped. There is an aspect of their plans that only a few of them know. There is a conspirator of York, Sir Edward Broderick, recently taken prisoner there. We believe he knows. The king sent questioners to York, but they got nowhere.
What is to be done with him, my lord?
He is to be brought from York to Hull in a sealed wagon when the progress moves on there, then to London by boat, guarded by the most loyal and trusted men. The king wants to be in London when he is questioned in the Tower.
How does this involve me, my lord?
I want you to ensure that he is alive and in good health when he arrives.
But will he not be in the king's care?
The Duke of Suffolk is in charge of arrangements for the progress, and he chose Broderick's jailer at York Castle, a man who can be trusted, Fulk Radwinter, but I have been concerned. Radwinter is a man of true and honest faith, yet he can be too severe. A prisoner once died. I want someone else present to keep an eye on Broderick's welfare till he can be brought to the Tower. You will have my seal as your authority. You will have overall charge of Broderick's welfare, in York and then on to London. You will not talk to him beyond asking after his welfare, ensuring he comes to no harm. There. That is a charitable commission, is it not?
My lord, my past service on matters of state has cost me much in peace of mind. I wish to remain a private man. I have seen men die most horribly.
Then ensure for me that a man lives, and in decent conditions. Sometimes God calls us to hard duty, Master Shardlake, and then we must find the stomach for it.
I buried my father on a cold day in Lichfield. Then it took my assistant Jack Barrack and I 5 days hard riding on bad roads through wild country before we approached York, bone-sore and weary. The high city walls were blackened with the smoke of hundreds of years, and beyond were the steeples of churches dominated by the soaring twin towers of York Minster.
God's nails, my legs are sore.
Oh, mine too. We're here. And here before the king arrives.
Look, above the city gates, the heads on poles. Rebels meet.
I showed a guard my letter of authority, and he waved us through the enclosed barbican and into the city. In the jostling crowds, it took seconds for hostility and resentment to spill onto us. Barrack ordered 2 pies from a stallholder in the street, who said he didn't understand what was being said to him, and asked Barrack why he gabbled like a southern duck. He then took exception to Barrack telling him to kiss his hole, and drew his sword. We bought the pies at huge cost, and rode on.
Rowdy holes!
Just watch what you say. They don't like us in the north. To treat people like that, you risk a sword in the guts for both of us and trouble for the progress.
Want wits!
We made ourselves known to Giles Wren, the barrister who was organising the pleas to the king. He was well known and respected in York and did much official work. Elderly and stricken in years, he was a tall man who lived in a tall building in a street of old houses overshadowed by the Minster. As we left, Master Wren asked if I had heard anything of the Queen being pregnant. I told him I knew there was gossip to that end.
Do you think the rumours are true, sir? That the Queen is pregnant? Everyone is curious.
I am too. The king has only one son and the dynasty hangs on a single life.
The Queen's only 18. Just a giddy girl. King's a lucky old dog. Now look at this.
A girl wearing a fine yellow dress advanced towards us. Behind her walked a servant wearing the king's badge on his doublet. The girl was exceptionally pretty with soft features. Fine blonde hair was visible below her white coif. She looked up as we passed and gave Barrack a big smile.
Good morning.
It's a bold hussy.
Well, a girl may smile at a fine fellow, may she not?
You don't want any dalliances here. She's a Yorker. She may eat you.
Now that I wouldn't mind.
Roderick, a visitor.
The jailer Radwinter had eyes that were hard and sharp as ice.
He's come all the way from London.
In the small, damp, stinking cell, the prisoner was chained and lay on a wooden pallet. A man in his 20s. His hair was thick and matted.
Are there to be more gropings with the poker, then?
No. I am here to ensure you get to London safe and well.
May I have something to drink?
Not till you can repeat the verses I set you.
What is this?
I have set Broderick to learn 10 verses of the Bible each day, in the hope that God's pure word may yet amend his papist soul.
Get him some beer. Now, please. You're here to care for his body, not his soul.
Of course.
When we'd arrived at the highly secured York Castle, there were more heads fixed to poles, and when I'd left Barrack with the horses, it was below a white skeleton wrapped in heavy chains, dangling from the high keep. I guessed it was Robert Aske, who'd led a previous rebellion, the Pilgrimage of Grace, 5 years before.
What do you want?
I'm not here to harm you. My commission from Archbishop Cranmer is only to see you safe to London. What is that mark on your chest? Someone has drawn a hot poker across you several times.
The king's men did it when they took me a fortnight ago. They could not break me. That's why I'm being sent to London to be worked on by men of real skill. What manner of man are you, then, that my marks seem to offend you, yet you work with Radwinter?
I am a lawyer. I'm here to ensure you are well cared for.
You keep me safe and well for the torturers in London, that they may have longer sport. I would rather die here.
You could just give them the information they want. They will have it from you in the end.
Ah, a soft persuader. But I will never talk.
I am not here to persuade you of anything. You should have a physician, however.
I ask nothing from you, Crookback. Did you see where Robert Aske still hangs in chains from Clifford's Tower?
I did.
When Robert was convicted of treason, the king promised he should be spared the pains of disemboweling at his execution. that he would hang till he was dead. He did not realize the king meant he was to be dangled alive in chains till he died from thirst and hunger. Poor Robert, that trusted Henry the Cruel.
Have a care, Sir Edward.
Robert Aske was my best friend.
Here. Drink, Broderick.
I've seen the burns on his body. He needs a physician.
Very well.
And he should have fresh rushes on the floor. These are slimy.
Perhaps he'd like them scented with sweet herbs. Although I fear the slime comes from the prisoner himself. Oh, you see, Master Shardlake, how he lunges at me? He's dangerous for all he looks helpless. He needs to be kept in no doubt of who is master. Let us go.
He can do very little chained to a wall.
I see your sympathy for him. And that worries me, with a man as dangerous as that. Perhaps those who seem outcasts resonate in your soul because of the condition of your back.
You stand too close to me, Radwinter.
There are those in this city who know that Broderick is here and would free him if they could. So I must study and scrutinise all those I meet, look as far as I can into their souls. Even yours, sir.
I don't know which man was the worst, Barrack. It seemed the jailer...
Look, sir. The advance guard of the great progress in all that finery.
A group of young men in colourful slashed doublets, flanked by servants, stood in a doorway drinking wine from leather bottles. One tall, handsome fellow was pointing out people and laughing at their poor clothes.
They should take better care.
Get away! Help! I'm being robbed!
A young woman was clutching a large basket and struggling to keep it from the grip of a ragged youth who was trying to pull it from her. Another churl held her round the waist. Barrack leapt from his horse and drew his sword.
Leave her! Get off her!
It was the girl who'd smiled at Barrack earlier. The two churls, one with a wart on his nose, turned and ran up an alleyway. Barrack made to follow, but the girl grabbed his arm.
No, sir. Stay with me. These are for Queen Catherine.
You're all right now, mistress.
I'm a servant in the Queen's privy kitchen, sir. I was sent to buy some of the things the Queen likes. Cinnamon and almonds.
Where is your body servant?
He wanted to buy cloth, and I gave him leave to go into that shop. I was foolish, sir, I confess.
Are you all right, mistress? They were trying to pull your pretty arms from their sockets.
I wouldn't let go. Are you here to meet the progress, sirs? My name is Thomasin Reedborn.
Aye, I'm a lawyer, Master Shardlake. This is my assistant, Jack Barrack.
It is a pleasure.
You're brave, sir.
I saw you earlier. You gave me a pretty smile.
Oh, we must go. We are due at St. Mary's.
I'm lodged at St. Mary's too. Perhaps I shall see you again.
I hope so.
Come, Barrack, let's go.
That was a bit of excitement. But they were just ragamuffin lads.
Oh, you did well, Barrack. Rescuing the Queen's Doucettes.
Thomasin Reedborn's a little doucette herself. I'd not mind a game of hot cockles with her.
Just then, I looked back towards Clifford's tower, to where Robert Aske's skeleton dangled. The breeze made it swing a little to and fro, as though his dead white bones were struggling to be free. Barrack and I passed under the barbican at Booth and Bar before joining a queue of riders waiting to enter what was to be the King's base in York, the once St. Mary's Abbey. It had the highest walls I'd ever seen round a monastery, once allowed through the gate. Before us lay an amazing spectacle.
God's wounds, sir. What are they planning here?
Hundreds of men were working in the open on the construction of two enormous pavilions. 40 feet high, they'd been built to resemble castles, all in wood but painted and designed to resemble stone. Ahead of us was the manor house that once was the abbot's residence. It was 3 stories high in red brick, and beyond it, an enormous monastic church, one of the largest I'd seen. We found the man in charge of accommodation, Simon Crake, an old fellow student of mine who'd come from London ahead of the great progress. Of plump face and wide girth now, and his hair mostly gone, he had the anxious, harried air he'd always had.
Master Shardlake, years
have dealt kindly with you, sir.
It's a wonder, given some of the affairs I've had to deal with.
Well, I have never had such a task as this progress. It's a nightmare ensuring accommodation at each stop. The rains, the king ever changing his plans. You will want to know where you are sleeping. Come, I will show you your quarters.
He led us towards the church where many of the stained glass windows had been removed, while others were broken. A middle-aged man stood on a ladder, carefully removing a pane. Beneath him, an enormous black horse stood grazing beside a high-sided wagon.
How goes it, Master Oldroyd? Will you have all the windows out before the king comes?
Aye, sir. I'll be here at first light every day till 'tis done.
Is all the glass going?
The king wants to see it has been put beyond use.
Craik led us through the once magnificent church where statues lay in pieces on the floor, and horses were stabled in stalls erected along the walls, and out into a second courtyard before entering a large two-storey building.
This was the monks' hospital. We have partitioned it into rooms.
The hall was divided into cubicles. Mine was next to barracks. We ate, and then we went out to watch the craftsmen in the courtyard working into the night. Hundreds of lamps shining, the guards patrolling the high walls with their pikes and guns. I slept well at first, but then dreamed my dead father called to me from outside the room, his voice clear and vivid. I rose at dawn and went out into the courtyard. It was the glazier's horse that charged out of the mist. The great animal knocked over a red-robed official. The commotion brought people running from the abbot's house, including soldiers and guards, but the animal reared up, keeping them at bay.
God's teeth! What's happened?
It's the glazier's horse, Master Craik. Something must have happened to Oldroyd.
Are you all right?
Master Craik and I left the growing crowd of servants and half-dressed workmen, and with a sergeant we stepped carefully in the fog along the duckboards to the right of the church. I heard a sound ahead of us. The rusty creak of what sounded like a door closing.
There's Oldroyd's cart. Where is he? Master Oldroyd!
His ladder's at an odd angle over the cart. Let me through! Let me through! Sir, Barrack, can you give me a lift up?
Be careful.
Barrack made a stirrup of his hands and I levered myself up. I looked over the top of the cart at a terrible sight. The dying Master Oldroyd lay on his back on top of piles of shattered stained glass. A big piece had spiked him through and protruded from his stomach.
The king! The king! No child of Henry and Catherine Howard can ever be true heir. What is this? She knows. What? Blaybon. Blaybon.
He's gone.
What did he say, sir?
Help me down, Jack.
Poor man, falling in his cart.
I'm not sure he fell, Jack. And I heard a door closing in the church.
Let's go.
We edged our way along the church and found a little door set in the wall. Barrack drew his sword. We pushed the door open and it gave the same rusty creak I'd heard earlier.
Look, sir. Damp footprints.
We followed them till we found where they ended at a large internal doorway. Barrack put his shoulder to it.
We've got you! Give yourself up!
There was a sudden patter of footsteps behind us, and I turned to glimpse the hem of a dark robe disappearing through the door before it slammed shut.
He's locked us in! God's bones!
So the glazier Oldroyd spoke against the king and queen. That's common enough. There should have been more hanged last spring.
Barrack and I stood before Sir William Maleverer, a member of the Council of the North, and the man with overall charge of legal matters and security.
You think it was pushed because you believe all glaziers are good on ladders?
No, sir. The footprints too, and what happened to us.
What if this person in the church was just someone passing through, was frightened by this oath of Barrack, is it?
Yes, sir.
Running in with his sword.
I don't think so, Sir William. The footprints led from the door near the cart to the chapter house.
Did you see nothing of what this person looked like?
Only the hem of a dark robe. I felt, sir, that the glazier was trying to tell me something important.
I've never heard the name Blaybon. Mayhap it was the man who pushed the glazier into the cart, if anyone did. Some fellow guildsman he quarrelled with. Brother Shardlake, the king and his progress will be here in 3 days. Every official is working all hours to get everything ready for His Majesty to ensure all goes smoothly. What we do not have time for is a lot of fuss about some workman who fell into his cart of glass. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Since you like mysteries, you can investigate the glazier's death on the coroner's behalf. That's the glazier's house key. It's all he had on him. Bring the results of your inquiries to me. It would be good, Brother Shardlake, if the evidence supported death by misadventure. Do you understand?
But I am a witness, sir. It would not be proper
Watson, what's proper? I want this out of the way.
I have to prepare the petitions for the king.
Then you'll have to work round the clock like the rest of us. As to your other task here, I sit on the Council of the North, and it is probably a good idea for someone to keep an eye on Master Radwinter, from what I hear of him. But that is all you do. Watch out for the prisoner's welfare and keep that long nose of yours right out of everything else. I don't like long noses. I cut them off sometimes. And their heads as well.
Holroyd's key is stiff. We're being watched. Woman at the window across the street. There. We're in.
Hello? That's odd. You'd expect a servant around or an apprentice. Hello?
Let's try upstairs. I wish I'd kept my mouth shut, Barrack. I wish I'm landed with this now.
I should have caught a person in the church. I'm not the man I was.
What do you mean?
Too much soft living at Lincoln's Inn. I've never made that mistake before.
We were in a master bedroom. A wall cloth in green and yellow stripes went round the whole room.
Wait. Shh.
I wonder where he kept his papers.
Shh. There's someone outside the door.
Got you! In here with you! Who are you?
Maester Oldroyd's apprentice.
What's your name?
Paul Green, Maester. I meant no harm, Maester.
His eyes flicked for a moment to a spot low down on the bedroom wall.
I thought it were robbers.
We are King's officials.
I have bad news for you, lad. I fear your master is dead. He fell from his ladder at St. Mary's into his cart early this morning.
Oh, no. Poor Maester. He were good to me.
Had your master any quarrels with anyone?
No, Maester.
You know of no one who might have wished him any harm?
Oh, God's nails!
2 guards in the king's uniform stormed in, swords at the ready. They ordered us not to move, and in an instant, Malevola strode into the room.
Who is this?
The glazier's apprentice. He was listening at the door.
Come here, you. What do you know of your master's affairs? What have you heard listening at doors, eh?
Only about his business, sir.
Brother Shardlake, I've spoken to the Duke of Suffolk, and he's instructed me to investigate this personally. It seems Oldroyd was crooked in his business dealings with us. It needs to be investigated.
No, sir. Not Maester.
Sir, he's only a lad.
He's a squealing pig. He's coming back to St. Mary's to see what questioning can reveal. The rest of you start searching. Sir. This out of your hands now, Shardlake. Those words you heard Oldroyd say, and that name, Blaybun, you say nothing of that to anybody.
Yes, sir.
Now leave, both of you. Go about your business.
We left by the back gate, while out the front, Malevola bellowed at the crowd gathered to protest at the dragging away of the apprentice.
Why's the Duke of Suffolk involved, sir? He's in charge of the whole progress.
It must be political. He's the senior official close to the king.
Do you want to continue to investigate?
No, I have enough to deal with. I must see Radwinter now. I'll meet you back at St. Mary's.
Master Shardlake, I feel we made a bad start yesterday. You must forgive me. I'm alone in this tower with only my prisoner and those churls of guards for company. Such isolation causes the black humours to arise.
Consider it forgotten.
The doctor has been and dressed the prisoner's burns.
Good.
I'll take you to him. I hear you are to appear before the king.
Am I? Are you sure of that?
That's what I heard. A daunting business. I've seen the king, you know. Remember the trial of John Lambert?
Who was burned for heresy?
Lambert was under my care in the Lollards Tower. I accompanied him to the trial. The king was splendid, magnificent, dressed all in pure white. When Lambert tried to air his heresies, he shouted him down, reduced him to a cringing dog. I saw Lambert burn, too. He made a great shouting. The king will be magnificent with the Yorkers.
Sir Edward lay chained on his dirty pallet. The cell stank. His shirt was open, a poultice strapped to his chest, and all his ribs visible against his dead white skin.
What do you want?
How are you, Sir Edward?
My burn stings.
That can be a sign the poultice is working. He's very thin, Master Radwinter. What does he have to eat?
Pottage, same as the guards get. A weakened man is less likely to cause trouble.
A sick man may waste away without food.
Would you like me to order thrushes in a pie from the king's kitchen? Then perhaps a plate of marchpanes?
No, but I would like him put on the same rations as the guards. See to it, please.
Does it not occur to you, sir, I would rather be weak when I get to London. So weak the torturer's first attentions kill me.
They'll take care not to do that, Master Broderick. So you see, Master Shardlake, the better you treat him, the more pain he will endure.
He is to be fed properly.
See the bones and chains hanging out there? I came to see poor Robert Aske every day while he hung out there, so he might see a friendly face. Each day I hoped to find him dead, yet each day he moved, still trying to ease his pains as he dangled. Oh, we hold on to life, even when there is no sense in it.
I will come again to see you tomorrow.
You do not know, sir, what manner of man you're dealing with. You may regret this softness.
Your judgment is clouded, sir, by delight in cruelty. The Archbishop will hear what manner of a man you are.
The Archbishop knows me well, sir, and knows that England needs such as me to keep it safe from heretics. We all serve a just and angry God. You should not forget it.
There was something hidden in the dead glazier Oldroyd's house. I knew from his apprentice's eyes. It bothered me, even as Barrack and I met the barrister Giles Wren, with whom I was to work with on the legal petitions. Wren was a tall old man, well respected in York, and his house was full of books.
What you've heard is true, Brother Shardlake. We're to present them in person before the king. You may have seen him before. Living in London?
Only from a distance.
I confess I have a great curiosity to see him. I heard the news of Peter Oldroyd. I knew him. He was a quiet, respectable fellow who lost his family in the plague in 38. Sad tidings. You catch me at my books today, Brother Shardlake.
You have a most rare collection, sir.
I have many old monkish books. I saved some valuable works of history and philosophy for their interest and their beauty, too.
It is a worthy task, sir. There was much wrong with the monasteries, but so much learning and beauty has gone to the fire.
I thought you were of like mind, brother. I can tell a scholar. Where do you practice?
Lincoln's Inn.
Now, I have a nephew at Gray's Inn. Perhaps you've heard of him? Martin Dakin. Be near your age now.
I'm sorry I don't, sir. There are hundreds of barristers in London.
Bad family quarrel. We lost touch. I'd like to see him again before I die. My only family now.
I would gladly take a message to your nephew in London.
Oh, thank you. It was very kind.
We noticed that security in the city is great, sir. We saw some Scotch turned away at Bootham Bar.
Yes, and all the stout vagabonds are being cleared from the city. You must know, Master Shardlake, that the king is not popular up here. Not among the gentry, and even less among the common people. For the king to come and set his stamp on the north is an intelligent plan, but do not underestimate the currents that run here.
We spent the day going through the petitions. Then Barrack and I walked back through the rain to St. Mary's. We went to tell Sir William Mauleverer about my suspicions of what I'd seen at Oldroyd's house, but was told he had an urgent summons to meet the Progress 30 miles off. In the common hall, Barrack and I ate with Tamazin Reedborn and her mistress, Janet Marlin, a maid-in-waiting.
You are a barrister, sir, at Lincoln's Inn?
I am.
My fiancé Bernard Locke is a barrister at Gray's Inn.
I know.
You'll know then that he is in the Tower on suspicion of involvement in the conspiracy. His arrest was a terrible mistake. Many have been arrested who are guilty of nothing. He will be freed.
Let us hope so, mistress.
I will never abandon hope.
Tell me how you came to be locked in the monk's chapter house, then.
It was foolishness. I am but a want-wit, a foolish jester.
I think you are a man of many parts.
Oh, yes. I have many parts.
Tamsin, I think it is time to leave. Lady Rochford may want us.
You two got on well?
Tamsin's a fine girl.
Are most of the women you dally with so forward?
You disapprove of her?
I think she has something scheming about her for all her merry airs. I wanted to speak to you. What you said about soft living, is that what's been on your mind?
These days I feel neither fish nor fowl. I'm too rough and crude to ever fit in with the world of the courts. You know what my life was like before I met you?
Look ahead 10 years, Jack. Would you rather be a trickster on the streets then, your joints stiffer each winter, or secure in your post at Lincoln's Inn?
I'm torn, sir. Part of me wants to stay, settle down. But I enjoyed the excitement at Oldroyd's house.
I saw. I would be sorrier than I can say to lose you.
I will decide one way or the other before we return to London. I promise.
One more thing. I think we should get up very early and go to the glazier's house. It bothers me. We will have a look ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We walked to Stonegate as the sun rose and the city came to life. As we passed along Petergate, we saw two beggarmasters with staves urging half a dozen ragged lads along. One of them was the lad who'd grabbed Tamsin's basket in the street the first time we'd met her. There'd been something odd about the incident, so I stopped him, and with persistent questioning, he told me that it hadn't been a real robbery. Tamsin had asked them to pretend to steal her basket.
What was she playing at?
I will ask her, in case it was a ploy to get to know me.
But it's me she's been after.
I am responsible for an important prisoner, and Mistress Marlin has connections to a suspected conspirator.
I'll open the shutters.
Two things happened at Master Oldroyd's house. First, we frightened the housekeeper, who was asleep in a truckle bed. She started screaming till Barrack shook her and assured her we meant her no harm. Then we found the box. The house was in chaos. Everything turned upside down by Sir William Maulevriers' men. In the bedroom, the wall hanging had been torn down, but I knelt down and tapped the wall till there was a hollow sound at a panel by the floor. With the panel off, in a tiny space I found a box 1 foot square, made from dark wood. It was locked. I shook it, but heard no sound. Outside, a crowd had gathered, alerted by the housekeeper. I tucked the box under my coat, and we went out.
My friend is dead, and the king's men knock his house.
I've got my sword, sir.
No, Barrack.
Thieves! Thieves!
I am sorry for the damage that has been done here. We have had no part in it.
Stay back and let us pass!
The crowd did not move. Someone threw a stone. It struck me on the arm, and the box dropped to the pavement with a clatter. The crowd surged forward, pressing us against the wall of the house.
Stop now!
Master Wren, I am glad to see you.
What is happening here? Master Pickering, what are you doing?
The hunchback and him were thieving in Peter's house. He had that box hidden under his robe.
Master Shardlake?
We are on King's business, sir.
You all know me in Stonegate. Sir? I can vouch for this man. He's a lawyer, sent to work with me on petitions to the king. Now go back to your shops. We're losing business. I will deal with this. Yes. Feeling in Stonegate has been much stirred by Master Oldroyd's death and the beating of the boy.
The blame is Sir William Maulevriers, and he is a Yorkshireman.
Yeah, he's a king's man on the Council of the North. But you're right. He's too rough in his ways. You found the box in the house?
Yes, we did.
Do you know what's in it?
No, and it is locked.
Master Wren came with us to St. Mary's, where he and I had an appointment with the great chamberlain about our presentation to the king. He stared open-mouthed at the pavilions and the 3 huge tents, the bustle and people.
I have never seen anything like this.
Barrack and I found Craik, who agreed that we could leave the box under lock and key in his office till Sir William Malever returned from the Progress. Master Wren and I then went to see the Great Chamberlain, where we were instructed at length on how we were to behave before the king. Stand stock still, kneel. If the king chose to address some words to us, we might look in his face and reply briefly. This was not a game. This was to show barbarian papists the power and glory of their king. I shook Master Wren's hand, and Barrack and I went to see if Malever was back. He wasn't, so Barrack suggested we wait with the box.
We could take a look inside it, sir.
I'm not going to break it open.
I'm good at picking locks.
Well...
Give me the pin from your cap. We can lock it up again. No one need know.
Do it, but be careful.
It's coming.
It's a beautiful box. Must have been expensive once.
Oh, Jesu!
What?
The pin's broken.
You dolt.
The pin was too thin. That bit's stuck in there. I can't get it out.
Here, let me try. Jesus, Malever will know we've tampered with it.
I'll go and get some pliers. One of the workmen will have a pair. I'll be quick.
I touched the broken end of the pin in the box, and there was a faint click. God's bones. I opened the lid, and a musty smell assailed me. The box was half full of papers. I picked out the top one and unfolded it carefully. It was a chart of the royal family tree written crudely in ink, going back a century to Yorkist times. Then there was a paper on which a rude text had been written. This is the prophecy of the great magician Merlin, it began. There was stuff about monarchs who would be called the goat, the lion and the ass. Before it concluded, the 8th Henry shall be called the Moldwarp, who shall be cursed by God for his actions. I laid the scrawl down and picked up a parchment. This was an Act of Parliament, titulus regulus, an act for the settlement of the crown upon the king and his issue. And lower down, our sovereign lord, the King Richard III. There was also a large piece of paper on which there was a handwritten scrawl. This is the true confession of me, Edward Blayborn, that I make in contemplation of death, that the world may know of my great sin. Something struck me on the side of the head, and I fell into a great darkness.
Master Craik, sir. He's waking.
Careful. You need to stay lying down.
How long have I been out?
An hour. I've been worried.
The box. Barrack, where is it?
He's safe enough. It was empty.
It was full of papers.
We're in the turds.
What happened to you, sir?
Something hit me.
I found you lying on the floor here. Master Craik was bending over you.
As I turned the corner towards my office, I heard someone going down the back stairs. The office door was open and you were lying on the floor.
Malever is in a mighty rage. He's put guards on the door here.
Attention! What in Christ's name is going on? I come back to find you attacked right here in King's Man with His Majesty due in 2 days.
I told him about finding the box and discovering there were papers in it. His eyes widened, and his questioning was fierce. He told Craik he was under suspicion of attacking me and made him disrobe before being searched thoroughly by the guard. They found nothing, but Malever told him he was still under suspicion because of his papist leanings. He ordered him to go. Sir William sent the guard out and closed the door.
You had these papers and you let them be stolen. What were they?
The first was a royal family tree, hand-drawn.
Where did it start?
With Richard, Duke of York, and his wife, Duchess Cecily Neville.
Oh, yes. Everything starts with Cecily Neville. Could you draw that tree?
Yes, sir.
Do it today and tell no one. And you, Cho?
Yes, sir.
Bring it to me. Now, the other papers.
There was a scribbled paper that claimed to tell of a legend from the days of Merlin, that our present king would rouse God's enmity and be driven from the realm. It called him the Moldwarp.
The Moldwarp legend. Fake prophecy. It appears to be a box full of rubbish. Anything else?
The third document was written on parchment. It was an official copy of an Act of Parliament. I had never heard of it. The titulus regulus.
Did you read it?
No, only the title page. It was from the reign of Richard III.
That was not a real Act of Parliament. It was a fake.
But it had a seal, sir.
God's blood, did you not hear me? It was a forgery. produced by the followers of Lambert Simnel, who pretended to be one of the princes in the Tower and challenged the king's father. Any more?
An old, undated, scrawled paper which claimed to be a confession by a man named Edward Blaborn. It said it was made in contemplation of death, that the world might know of his great sin.
That great sin. Did he say what it was?
I was struck down. I saw no further.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. Blaborn was the name that Master Oldroyd spoke.
Yes, it was. The glazier was not what he seemed. It was part of the conspiracy to topple the king from his throne this spring. Do you swear you read no more than you've told me?
I swear.
That you do not know what Blaborn's sin was? If you lie to me, you make yourself liable to great penalties.
Sir William Malevorer set about his investigations in our presence. He had the beaten and blooded glazier's apprentice dragged in. Under the threat of more violence, the lad confessed to Malevorer that he'd seen two men visit Oldroyd and look through the papers in the box. One of them had said the papers were enough to do for the king. He described the men, one with a hare lip, and one with a strange southern accent who sounded like me. Malevorer threw the boy out of his office and ordered him followed.
The man with the hare lip was Thomas Tattershall, who was executed in June. I don't know the other man. He seems to have killed Oldroyd, attacked you, and would have killed you if Craig hadn't appeared. Unless it was Craig. When I said the name Blaborn to the Duke of Suffolk, who was in charge of the progress, all hell broke loose. I was ordered by the Privy Council itself to take over the investigation and keep it secret. I don't know who or what Blaborn is, but there is some connection to the prisoner, Broderick.
I am sorry.
A pox on sorry. That does not help. Who saw you with the box?
I told him that when we'd returned to St. Mary's with it, many people were milling around the courtyard. I mentioned Lady Rochford and her lady Mistress Marlin, and a bearded young man.
That fool, Francis Dereham, the Queen's secretary.
And Tamsin Reedbourne saw us.
Sir?
But I knew we were in great danger and had to tell. Barrack set his lips as I told Malevorer about the staged robbery. He ordered Tamsin Reedbourne and her mistress, Janet Marlin, to be brought instantly to his office.
I am Mistress Marlin, and I demand to know why we have been brought here.
Do you indeed?
Lady Rochford would expect...
Piss! Lady Rochford. Now then, Mistress Reedbourne, you know who I am?
Yes, sir.
You faked a robbery to make the acquaintance of Master Shardlake. He is involved in matters of state. Why did you play this game, and is your mistress involved?
It was not Master Shardlake whose acquaintance I sought to make, but Master Barrack. I saw him ride by and liked his looks so well. I knew the beggar lads would do it for money. It was worth it.
Don't ever speak to me like that, or I will strike you again. That was all there was to it. You like the look of this churl.
That was all, sir. I swear.
Mistress Marlin, you will report this behaviour to Lady Rochford, and you will keep a better eye on your servants instead of whining about how hard done your fiancé is languishing in the Tower.
This is why we were brought here. You think I am not loyal? I am made a victim again, as poor Bernard has been.
Get out of my sight, both of you. You're wasting my time. Master Shardlake, I want a copy of that family tree as quickly as you can.
We sat in my cubicle in the church, and Barrack watched as from memory I sketched out the family tree I'd seen in the box.
Are you all right, sir?
Malevorer's a brute of a man. I am sorry about Tamsin Reedbourne. I had to tell him what I knew.
Well, it's done now. By Jesus, she has spirit. I've never met anyone like her.
Malevorer was lying when he said that Act of Parliament was a forgery.
I know, sir. I saw it in him.
God's bones, what a family tree this is. Murder, mayhem and treachery. Look, here I have marked in bold the King's descent from Edward IV, like the original. It supports the King's claim to the throne. And then there is Cecily Neville.
Malevorer said it all starts with her. Should we take a copy of what you've done, sir?
No more hostages to fortune, Barrack. I have a copy in my head.
I'll take this to Malevorer now.
I walked out into the courtyard where the bustle continued. Flagstones were being laid near the manor house so the king would not get his robes muddy. Baiting and fighting games were going to be held for the soldiers and workmen. I saw 2 bears in their cages and heard the angry crowing of hundreds of fighting cocks from the chapter house. And then I saw a Scotch flag. God's breath. King James must be coming. Henry was after a peace treaty. Later, I lay down and sank into a deep and dreamless sleep.
Sir! Sir, wake up!
Barrack, what is it?
We're to go to York Castle. The prisoner's been poisoned.
The door to Broderick's cell was open. There was a sour stink of vomit. Radwinter, his eyes full of fear and anger, stared at Barrack.
Why is this man with you, Master Shardlake?
Barrack is privy to everything by the Archbishop's authority.
Do you feel you need a man to protect you when you meet me?
No games, Master Radwinter. What has happened here?
The physician says he's been poisoned, but he seems to have vomited it all up. Dr. Gibson says he will live, but he's still in danger. We'll talk in the guardhouse. I have the cook confined there.
There was a brazier in the room, with a poker sticking out of the charcoal.
The poison must have been in the prisoner's food. There's no other way. This is the man responsible, the guard's cook, David Uhill. He used to work for the monks at St Mary's.
I've done nothing, sir.
If it was him, he'd have fled.
You allow your servants to speak on your business, do you?
Barrack speaks sense.
Does he indeed? Let's test the evidence for that.
Radwinter pulled the poker from the burning brazier and showed the cook the red-hot tip.
You have used your post to poison a man the king once kept alive.
I didn't, sir. Please. The food's from the common pot and his beer from the common barrel. If there were poison in it, everyone would have had it. Mister, the poker's too close.
I don't know how you did it, Master Cook, but I'll get it out of you.
Oh, no.
Master Radwinter!
You worked in the Abbey. You're infested with papist ideas.
I hated the monks. I hated the way they lived soft and easy while I slept on sacks. It's burning hot, mister. I was an informer for Lord Cromwell.
Nonsense.
In 35, Cromwell's commissioners asked me if I'd pass on snippets to Lord Cromwell's office.
That is too easy a tale.
It's true.
I used to work for Lord Cromwell. I did some work with monastery informers in 36.
Then help me, sir.
Be quiet.
You would have had to send letters. Can you write?
My brother can. I told him what to put.
Well, to whom did the letters go?
Oh, the office of Master... Oh, Master Bywater, at the office of the Vicar General at Westminster.
For the attention of whom?
Master Wells, for the attention of Master Wells.
He speaks true. He worked for Lord Cromwell, all right.
He could have turned his coat.
He looks too scared to me, and there's no evidence. You have no legal authority to torture this man, Master Radwinter. He may be kept close for now, but he's not to be harmed. Come, Barrack. I will report to Sir William Maleverer.
You will not interfere with my inquiries, sir.
Sir William Maleverer had Broderick and Radwinter brought from York Castle to St Mary's so he could keep watch. It was the great day, the arrival of the Progress and the riding out to meet it. The sun shone, and I knew people would say the king had banished the rain. Under a sky of unrelieved blue, I dressed in my best robe and my new cap, arranging the brim to hide my bruise. In the courtyard, the rising sun was reflected in flashing streaks from the gold leaf woven into the fabric of the tents, and from the polished breastplates of the soldiers standing before the pavilions, pikes raised and bright plumes in their helmets.
Good morning, Master Shardlake.
Brother Wren, you look splendid.
To see the king at my age is quite a thing. May I confide in you, sir?
Of course.
I plan to return to London with the Progress to see if I can find my nephew at the Inns of Court. It may be my last opportunity.
Brother, are you all right?
I confess that I am ill. I have a growth inside me. My father had the same thing, and he died of the wasting sickness such lumps can bring.
A physician?
I have seen physicians. They can do nothing.
Brother Wren, I am sorry.
I do not feel I can travel to London on my own. If you would accompany me with the Progress to London, help me should I fall ill, it would be a great comfort. It is much to ask, sir, I know.
I am humbled you have confided in me. I will help you in any way I can.
You're a true friend. From now on, please, call me Giles.
Matthew. My hand, Giles.
Here's Genesis, sir.
Ah, good horse. You look jaunty this morning.
I am.
Mistress Reedbourne agrees with you.
So?
Be careful, Barrack, that's all. I cannot forget her trickery. Help me up. There were 200 men on horseback, all in their best finery. The city council and guild officials, and mounted soldiers. We rode through a deserted city, but every window is crammed with faces as the Yorkers watched us pass.
It's been good to be out in the country. I grew up there. My father was a farmer towards Holderness.
Mine was a farmer too, in Lichfield.
Perhaps that is why we rub along so well.
We rode through flat open country of green pastures and brown ploughed fields till we came to a place called Fulford Cross, where we were ordered to stop, dismount and wait. There, the city officials removed their finery and put on sombre clothes to show their humility for their part in the rebellion 5 years ago. We heard the progress before we saw it, a sound like distant thunder. The rumble grew louder, and I realized it was the sound of thousands of hooves. Then I saw an enormous brown patch appear over a slight rise in the distance. I made out the shapes of hundreds of high-sided carts, pulled by teams of enormous draft horses, and at the head, a shimmering mix of bright colours that resolved itself into a crowd of gorgeously robed people on horses.
Halt! Well, Matthew, this is it.
We all fell to our knees as two figures stepped forth. An enormous man, and by his side a small girl, dressed all in silver. The king and queen. His legs were thick as bulls, and he carried a jewelled walking stick, which he pressed heavily into the cinders of the road.
Men of York, I will hear your submission.
The recorder and the mayor gave long speeches of utter abasement to God's anointed on earth, head of his church, guardian of souls of 3 million subjects, more than human in his glory. In those few moments, I believed it all.
Quick, Matthew. It is us now.
I felt my bowels lurch as I rose and followed Giles to stand before the king while all around knelt. My head down, I saw the king's left calf was thicker than his right, and made out the criss-cross shape of bandages beneath the white hose. I noticed a slight yellow stain, and then a puff of wind carried a foul smell to my nostrils, like a blocked drain.
I come to you, dread Majesty, as representative of the citizens of York, in prayer that you might hear the petitions for justice of the people.
I will.
Giles turned to me and I placed the petitions in his hands, keeping my head still bent. I dropped my cap. I dared not pick it up. The king addressed Giles.
By Jesus, sir. You are a fine-looking old fellow. Are they all so big in the north?
I am not so tall as your Majesty, but who may rise so high?
Let all hear! I say this good old man shows the north breeds fine fellows. See the other lawyer by his side, the one that dropped his cap. I know he is a Southron. See what a poor bent bottle spider he appears by his side.
I lifted my head and saw a red, jowly face, a fringe of reddish-grey beard, and a pursed little mouth under a commanding beak of a nose. The king was looking straight at me from small, deep-set eyes that were blue and cruel. I realized he knew who I was. He knew about the lost papers. He had marked me. I slipped away and rode back to York alone and crushed. The story of the king's mockery would get back to Lincoln's Inn. This day would haunt me for the rest of my life. In bitter mood, I went to see how the prisoner Broderick fared. The jailer Radwinter took the cell keys from his belt.
How went the reception for the king?
Well enough.
Oh? Did it go badly?
It went according to plan. How is Broderick?
Did the king speak to you?
A word only. I asked you
It
how
is a great honour.
Aye.
Did he comment on your bruise?
No, he did not.
What then? I see I've hit a mark, Master Shardlake. Did he remark on your bent back? I know he dislikes those with deformities. Just get off me! Guards!
You are the bane. Evil.
Guards! It's all right. Master Shardlake's in quarrelsome mood. I have you now if I want you, sir. Mark that. The soldiers saw you attack me.
Open the cell door.
Of course. Sir, please.
Broderick lay on a pallet. He was filthy and smelled of vomit.
So the king was cruel to you?
I had come to see how you fare, sir.
He is a cruel man. He strikes harshly for pleasure.
I say nothing against the king.
He is the Moldwarp. Merlin prophesied him, the tyrant who'd be driven from his realm with all his line. No child of his should succeed. The king will fall soon.
I sat in silence on my bed. The king, the head of the church, fount of law and justice. To meet with him was the greatest glory an Englishman could dream of. Now I had met him. I felt for a second that he had shown me what I was, an unworthy creature, a beetle crawling on the earth. But anger came again. I had not deserved that dreadful humiliation. Perhaps Broderick was right. Perhaps Henry VIII and his rule of terror would be overthrown. And perhaps should be.
Sir? Sir, are you there?
Yes, Barrack.
You all right, sir?
I'm fine.
Sir William Maleverett wants to see us both now. He has a representative of the Privy Council with him. It's an old enemy, sir. Sir Richard Rich.
Ah, God's blood.
Well, Brother Shardlake, I saw you and that tall old fellow before the king at Fulford Cross today. He's so tall and straight, but you look like his bent crone of a wife. Still, the Yorkers enjoyed His Majesty's timely jest, didn't they, Sir William?
Indeed they did. Master Shardlake, you have helped the king a little in bending the north to his will.
Then I am happier for it.
Sarcastically answered, if I know the mind of our friend. And I do know him, Sir William. He's a great nuisance.
He is.
We have had several encounters, and have another pending back in London, in Chancery. But now there are other matters in hand, Master Shardlake. You had possession of a cache of very important papers, and you let them be stolen. Also, you had no right to open that box. Your duty was to leave it till Sir William here returned.
I am sorry, Sir Richard.
And I.
Churl, you think you can still take liberties, don't you?
No, sir.
As though Lord Cromwell was still alive. Well, he's not.
No, sir.
You are a pair of meddling fools. Who saw you bring the box here to St. Mary's?
I told him that Lady Rochford, her lady Mistress Marlin, and the Queen's Secretary Derham had looked over at us. Master Craik, who had let us leave the casket in his office, and Master Wren.
The Marlin woman, she has a fiancé in the Tower, suspected of being a grazing link to the Spring conspiracy.
I have questioned her.
Question her again. I will arrange the questioning of Lady Rochford and Derham. The likes of you can't do that.
Yes, Sir Richard.
And you, Brother Shardlake, you have been discussed on the Privy Council. You are in bad odour there, and some think you should be sent back to London. But I would rather have you under my eye. Besides, Archbishop Cranmer wants you to look after Broderick. Not that you've done well there. What's his state of health?
Weak from the poisoning. He talks about the Moldwarp legend.
Why should he talk about that to you?
He overheard Radwinter mocking me for the king's jest at my expense, and he related the Moldwarp nonsense. I said no word against the king. I swear it.
My advice to you is to follow the natural inclination of your body and keep your head down.
Yes, Sir Richard.
When you get back to London, it might help your reputation a little if you were to advise the London Guildhall to drop the Belknap case.
Jesus, what are you going to do?
He was just trying to intimidate me.
Intimidate you? He wants you to drop that case. You know what he could do to you now if he really wanted?
I have Cranmer's protection.
I don't see him here, do you, sir? Cranmer would only risk so much for someone as lowly as you. Or me.
I will not be blackmailed into giving up a case.
But you don't think you can win it?
I will not be blackmailed, Barrack.
There, then. Obstinacy and pride. It will be the death of you.
Barrack!
The death of both of us!
Oh.
In the church, most of the stalls were now occupied with riding horses. In some of the empty side chapels, blacksmiths' forges were being erected. Fires had already been lit, and the smiths were working hard, mending shoes that had been damaged on the journey. 5,000 horses on the progress. 20,000 shoes. I met Master Crake, who offered to show me where all the thousands of people on the progress had been put. We climbed the church steeple to the bell tower.
Come over. Down there. Look.
My eyes widened at what I saw. Behind the monastery, hundreds of soldiers' tents were pitched around an open grassy space where cauldrons and spits were being set up over wood fires from which smoke was drifting into the sky. Hundreds upon hundreds of wagons were drawn up, and what seemed like a city full of men sat at dice or played at football games. Looking the other way, I saw the bear-keeper feeding the bears in their cages, throwing them chunks of bloody meat. And I saw Lady Rochford and Janet Marlin jesting with a group of young men, including the Queen's secretary, Francis Derham. But the women were giving most of their attention to a young man resplendent in a purple doublet, yellow sleeves and a curved golden codpiece.
Master Culpepper, I am not used to dealing with such a rabble as the royal household servants. Whoring, drinking, clawing their cods in front of you.
Yeah. The new learning has made common men arrogant.
But perhaps you have a different view. I heard you became a supporter of reform.
In the early days. I am nobody's partisan now.
They were better days when I first went to work at court. The old nobility still ruled. Now these commoners, these new men. Cromwell has gone, but there are so many others.
I saw Richard Rich earlier.
You know Rich?
Yeah, as an adversary in law. I have a case in London where he is backing my opponent.
He is a serpent.
That he is.
Is any more known, Brother Shardlake, of the person who attacked you?
No, but he will be found.
People say poor Oldroyd's death was not a natural one.
I know nothing, Master Craig. But you knew Oldroyd well.
I did speak with him probably more than anyone else. When I was sent ahead of the progress to arrange the accommodation, the Yorkers were very guarded with me, but Oldroyd seemed happy to talk. A friendly face.
When I left the tower, there was a chill in the air. In the courtyard, I sat down on a bench under a copper beech.
Master Shardlake?
Mistress Tamsin Reedbourne.
I wondered if I might speak with you.
Please, sit down.
Mistress Marlin has just been taken in for questioning.
You would have been better to have left Barrack and me alone. I am involved in very confidential matters.
Yes, sir.
We have had words. He was impertinent, he will tell you.
He is anxious, sir. I am sorry for the trick I played the day you came to York.
It was foolish and unbecoming for a woman, but Malevola should not have struck you.
I care little for that. I have had to make my own way in life, sir. My mother was a servant at court. She sewed the Queen's body servants' clothes in the Surrey. She died in the plague 7 years ago.
I am sorry. So many were lost then.
I was but 12. My grandmother cared for me, though she was old and ailing. I never knew who my father was. I sought the place my mother held. I told them in the Chamberlain's office I was a skilled seamstress, though I knew nothing of the work.
It seems you have a talent for deception.
I worked day and night, sir, to learn, and I made myself a competent seamstress. I had my grandam and myself to feed. The Queen's Surrey offered good wages and protection from the world outside. I learned to live by my wits, sir.
As Barrack did.
When I saw him that day in town, something stirred in me, and I thought, why not manufacture a meeting?
In truth, you are clever, mistress, as well as bold. And now you hope to hook your fish.
We are becoming fast friends, sir. I wanted only to ask you not to stand in our way. And please, Where is the boldness in asking that?
You are an unusual woman, Mistress Freedborn. I had thought you of frolic disposition, but I see I was wrong.
Jack is sorry for his words earlier.
Does he know you are here?
No, this is my idea, sir. Jack used to be very bold. I think part of him now wants to settle down, but part of him does not. I hope he would settle down. Stay working for you, give proper values to the opportunities you've given him.
So you have come to offer me an alliance?
We have an aim in common. Jack admires you greatly, sir. He says you have known troubles, and have sympathy for poor folk, and the necessities of their lives.
Does he truly say that?
He does. Do not be too hard on him, sir.
I will think on what you have said. I walked towards the noise of the tented city. Guards examined my papers and let me through. My nostrils were assailed by a harsh smell of wood smoke, unwashed bodies and excrement.
Sir.
You're here.
I'm sorry for losing my temper, sir.
You had a point. And I am anxious about our safety, but I can't abandon the case. Can you understand that?
Yes, sir. Did you hear about Master Wren? He was taken ill just after you and he met the king. He collapsed and had to be taken home.
I will visit him tomorrow. Come, let's walk.
What a place, sir. Dog fights, football games.
We arrived at a cockfighting ring. Men stood cheering as two black cocks, feathers slicked with blood, slashed at each other with their claws. Among the people at the front were the courtier Culpepper and the Queen's secretary, Derham, who saw me and pointed me out as the hunchback the king made mock of. The cockfighting men roared with laughter as we walked on. On the fringe of the camp it was dark. A pit had been dug, and a group of kitchen boys had unloaded the pieces of a giant spit from a cart and were labouring to set it up, thrusting the great spiked rods through the centre of the apparatus. A whole ox lay ready to be cooked, as well as a mound of ducks and chickens. We stopped to watch when there was a cry from the dark at the far end of the spit. There was a swift grating noise, and Barrack grabbed me and threw me to the ground.
Stay down!
I stared up at the great metal spike that had been thrust through the centre of the spit and now quivered in the air 3 feet above my head. Barrack was already on his feet and ran to the other end of the fire. One of the kitchen boys had been struck down from behind, and whoever had tried to spear me had vanished into the shadows of darkness.
They're gone. Damn it!
You saved my life, Jack. In his office, Sir William Maleverer gave me a hard look.
Are you sure it was no accident?
I am sure.
Perhaps the boy was never struck and made it up to excuse carelessness with the spit.
The boy's head was bloody, and that spit was pushed at me with more force than a child could ever command. I wondered whether it might be better for me to leave the progress now and return to London.
No, Master Shardlake. You can be our stalking horse. Perhaps you will lead our killer into the open.
No sooner had I left Sir William Maleverer's office than Sir Richard Rich was upon me.
Master Shardlake, I've just come from the king.
Sir?
When the spring conspirators were attainted, their lands passed to my department. We've been discussing how they might be best disposed of.
Indeed.
The king has made it known he will be generous to those who have been loyal in Yorkshire. I trust you have decided to do the right thing about the Belknap case.
I have, sir. Those who say they have a good hand early in the game are bluffing.
You dare cross me? You know I have been having dealings with your master in there, Sir William Maleverer.
Yes, sir.
He is interested in buying more lands up here, and Augmentations has lands to sell. Do not forget, Brother Shardlake, that Sir William has many powers here, and you are alone in York but for your boorish servant, and not liked by the king, it appears. Tread carefully.
There was a light rain as I walked down the misty Petergate towards Giles Wren's house. I passed little houses and thought of the people inside. They were prevented from casting sewage in the streets while the progress was here. It would be piling up in their backyards, all glitter and show in front, and a pile of turds behind, a symbol of the king's visit.
Matthew, what the king said yesterday must have caused you grievous hurt. It sorrows me deeply to have been made part of his evil jest.
'Tis not the first jest I have endured. But what of you, sir? You were taken ill?
Well, I was quite composed until the king spoke to me. Then I felt a sudden horror, that's all I can call it. When I looked into the king's eyes, it was as though all the power drained out of me.
He has cruel eyes.
Made me think of the legend.
That the king is the Moldwarp.
Ah, well, you know of it. It is dangerous to speak of such superstitions. But still, well, I have often wondered what the king was really like. Now I know. And the Queen, she's so young.
I feel sorry for her.
Matthew, this attack of pain and weakness has been bad, and I fear there will be more. I may not be an easy companion on the road back to London.
You will have all the aid that Barrack and I can give.
You're kind.
I came to ask a small favour. I need to check something on a map of southern England in connection with the London matter. Are there maps in your collection?
There are 2 rooms at the back of the house. Madge, my housekeeper, will give you a key.
The rooms smelt of dust and mice. The walls were covered from floor to ceiling with shelves jammed with books and papers, rolled parchments and piles of manuscripts. I unrolled some maps and my eye caught one of Kent, where I had done some casework before. There, in amongst the place names, I saw the name Brayborn. So a man called Blayborn or Brayborn might have come from Kent sometime last century and left a confession in York that was of concern to kings. I found a shelf where books of Acts of Parliament stood. I lifted the volume I was looking for and laid it on the desk. There it was, 1484, Titulus Regulus. The same heading as the one in the box. An act for the settlement of the crown about king and issue. It was authentic. When I read the 5 pages, I sat back in my chair. The candlelight flickered. King Henry's principal claim to the throne came through his mother. If she was illegitimate, as this act stated, Henry VIII had no claim to the throne. No wonder Malevola wanted knowledge of this act hidden. I remembered his strange comment to me. Oh yes, everything starts with Cecily Neville. It was dark when I walked back to St. Mary's. I lay down on my bed and fell asleep, only to be woken by Barrack after 1 in the morning. His face was stiff with shock as he led me into the shadows off the courtyard.
If we tell him he's in danger too.
He's in danger already. What's happened? Tamsin should have been back at King's Manor, and we wondered how she'd get back in, for the doors are guarded, and we thought the soldiers would make a jest of us. We saw a door with no one outside, by the kitchen on the Queen's side. We went towards it, and that was where we saw them.
Who?
Remember that Popinjay Culpepper that was at the cockfighting with Dereham? He was standing just inside the doorway, taking leave of the Queen.
The Queen?
It was her, sir, and Lady Rochford standing beside her.
Do you realise what you're saying?
Yes. I'm saying that the Queen was showing the most notorious rake at court out of her privy chamber at past 1 in the morning.
Jeez.
It's worse. They saw us.
Culpepper saw us first. He was rooted to the spot. Then Lady Rochford stared at us. She pulled the Queen in and slammed the door. Culpepper doffed his cap and walked away.
How was the Queen dressed?
Fully. In a yellow dress. Her face was made up.
No evidence they'd been romping, then?
There have been rumours that Master Culpepper and the Queen had some affection before she married the King.
She must be mad.
Jeez. If the Queen announces she is pregnant, the child may be Culpepper's. That fits exactly what Oldroyd said. No child of Henry and Catherine can ever be true heir. She knows. He meant the Queen.
We should go to Malevola with this now.
Not without evidence. Not when you and I are in trouble already. Can you imagine how the King will react if this story were brought to him and it turned out to be untrue? It would be our heads, Barrack.
And Tamisin's too.
I did not sleep well, and in the morning Barrack and I attended Giles Wren's house to prepare the petitions. We had not been there long when there was a knocking at the front door.
Jack, we're ordered back to St. Mary's. Now.
I will come with you.
Lady Rochford told me to fetch you, Jack. We are to meet her in one of the pavilions.
Perhaps she will be less bullying with a lawyer present.
Why have you brought this lawyer? God's death, if you try to set a lawyer on me, I shall set something far worse on you.
My name is Matthew Shardlake, my lady. I am the employer of Master Barrack here. They have both sought my protection after their encounter last night.
Who else have you told? Who else?
No one, my lady.
And what did you and this lump of a clerk see or think you saw last night?
Master Culpepper outside the kitchen door, the Queen in the doorway, and you behind, my lady.
The Queen seemed to be taking leave of Master Culpepper.
Stupid children. Master Culpepper had called late to see me. It was I that took leave of him. The Queen heard us and came down to see. Culpepper is always playing jests on me. He is a naughty fellow. It was all innocent. Anyone who says differently will face the King's wrath, I warn you.
If the King heard his Queen was seen in a doorway with the sauciest rake in the court, I think he would be wrathful indeed. However innocent that meeting must have broken every rule of conduct there is.
You're the crook-back lawyer the King jested over. Do you seek revenge on your monarch because he mocked your bent back?
No, my lady. I seek only to protect these young people. I want their safety and mine.
Why should any of you be unsafe?
People who learn naughty secrets by mistake often are.
There is no secret. None. The Queen merely enjoys the company of the friends of her young days. It has been hard for her, the progress. The King would not mind her meeting old friends, but people will ever gossip, so she meets them in secret sometimes. Were that to be known, it would be an embarrassment.
Then all is well. We have no interest in gossip. All three of us wish only to return to London as quickly as possible.
Then you will say nothing? Say nothing and all will be well, I promise you.
That's our intention.
As a lawyer, though, I must take precautions. Certain writings may be left should I die suddenly.
You must not do that. If they came to light, you fool! Do you think I would harm you? Think, lawyer. Even if the Queen would permit that, which she would not, do you think I would want to draw attention to any of you? I want you quiet!
Unless you are quieter yourself, my lady, the guards at the door will know your business. We shall be quiet. Our hearts were thumping as we stepped outside, but there was no time to dwell on what had just happened. A soldier stood in front of me and told me that Sir William Mauleverer required me right away. There had been another attempt on the prisoner's life. Two soldiers were holding a half-conscious Broderick in a sitting position on the bed. One soldier held his jaw open while the doctor poured a flagon of liquid down his throat.
He's been poisoned again. Radwinter oversaw the preparation of food in the King's kitchen, brought it here and watched Broderick eat. 10 minutes later, Broderick is writhing on the floor. In that case, I cannot see how anyone but Radwinter can have done it.
But if he did, Sir William, why incriminate himself so obviously?
I don't know.
And if not him, then who? Who knows Broderick is here?
Quite had a few by now. Word's got around. Take him out of here into the corridor. Give him some space to breathe. Radwinter, come here.
Sir.
I've told Master Shardlake that I can see no answer to this, but that you poisoned the prisoner.
He will say nothing to disabuse you of that.
Master Shardlake does not agree with me.
I swear I did not poison him. Why would I place myself in a position of suspicion?
Don't you dare chop word for word with me, you turd.
I swear, sir.
The doctor will examine the bowl, spoon
May
and
I
cup.
look around the cell?
What for?
If Master Radwinter left the cell 10 minutes before Broderick fell ill, what if Broderick took something himself?
Look if you must.
I pulled the stained blankets from the bed and felt the straw mattress. There was something white, wedged between the bed and the wall. I reached in and pulled it out.
What is it?
I think it's a lady's handkerchief, stiff and stained.
So he got a kerchief as a keepsake from some lady.
He had no handkerchief. He was searched when he came in here from the castle. He was stripped naked and his clothes searched.
That left one place where he could conceal this. Look at the stains. If I unfold it here.
Are you telling me the prisoner has been in here with the lady's kerchief inside him?
Yes. It is smaller and lighter. A woman need not have been involved at all.
But why would he do that?
To carry something. There's a faint smell. It's not of feces, but something else. Nasty and rotten.
What is it, lawyer?
I think it is a poison, sir. I've smelt it before, somewhere.
He poisoned himself to avoid the fate that lies before him in London.
But he had no visitors. None were allowed.
I don't think there was a poisoner after all.
Enough! Radwinter, you're relieved of your duties till this is solved, and you're placed under guard till further notice. Master Shardlake, you will now question the prisoner.
So, you poisoned yourself. That is true, sir, is it not?
It is no great sin. I have a painful death to come.
Tell me, sir, who brought the poison?
The Moldwarp did.
What?
The Moldwarp brought the poison.
What is it, sir?
The smell from that handkerchief. It was the smell I caught from the king's bloated leg at Fulford Cross. How is that? And Broderick says the Moldwarp brought the poison.
This whole place is poison. I've something to tell you about Master Craik and his connection with Oldroyd. He told you the glazier was friendly to him and they talked.
He did.
It could be more than that.
I'm listening.
Craik frequents a bad part of York. I saw him out late one night, scurrying, and I followed him. He entered a mean-looking inn where they don't like Southrons.
You think Craik could be a conspirator?
If he has connections there, he could be the one trying to kill you. This is the way, sir. Watch your feet.
Barrack and I headed through the damp, dark night towards a poor part of York, riddled with alleyways and the White Hart, the alehouse Barrack had seen Craik enter. We'd talked about who was around the early morning of Oldroyd's death. Craik. And who'd seen us bring the box in. Craik again. The White Hart was a mean place, where mean men with mean faces sat on benches drinking home-brewed beer. Even their dogs objected to our presence. Then a tall, stringy fellow in an apron appeared.
Can I help thee, maesters?
I believe so.
In private.
What are your wants?
A friend of mine was here a few days ago, an official from the Progress. The large fellow with a fringe of fair hair.
And he told you what we have here?
He did.
Here's 2 shillings for your trouble. We don't have time. What have you got? Come on, quick.
Just tell me your pleasure, sir. Sharp little nips from a girl with a dagger, or a belt thrashing from an old carrion whore, like your friend enjoys?
This is a house for special tastes.
Tastes the ordinary houses don't cater for.
So Craik's not a conspirator, he just likes to get whacked.
Handled that well. You knew what you were doing.
And Lord Cromwell had contacts among the London hallmasters. They'd come up with a name sometimes of someone at court, and they were in my master's power.
Blackmail?
If you like.
And you were involved in this?
I didn't like it. But if men of rank choose to delve in the stews, they take a risk.
I'll wager that's why Craik got to know Oldroyd, to find out if there were places like this in York.
Barrack left me to go and meet Tamazin in his secret love nest, and I walked along the path towards our lodgings. Beside a pen of black-faced sheep, I saw a fighting bear standing upright in its cage, resting its clawed arms on the iron bars of its prison. I stopped and looked at the poor animal. It whimpered, in pain from its fighting wounds. I realised the cage door was opening. I saw a rope was fixed to the top and it was being pulled upwards from the back of the pen. The bear stepped back, its eyes fixed on me, and suddenly it was out. It dropped to all fours and came towards me, growling. I turned and ran in through the open door of the church. Half asleep, the grooms got to their feet as the bear shambled through the church and then stood up on its hind legs, saliva dripping from the side of its mouth. We backed away from it, terrified to turn and run lest we provoke a charge. A long wound on its hind leg had opened and blood was dripping onto the floor. The creature dropped back on all fours again and advanced on us as we retreated in all our weakness. I slipped on some straw and went over backwards. The bear stared at me. Its teeth were enormous. It quickened its pace as it walked towards me. I scrambled to my feet. I seized a sconce of candles and hurled it at the bear. It batted it aside, and the sconce fell on the straw, which caught light, flaring yellow. The bear rose to its hind legs and charged, claws flailing, but something flashed by me. There was a thud, and the bear jumped back. An arrow poked from its chest. Another followed, and another, till the bear crashed over and lay still in the burning straw.
The bear wards confirmed what you thought, Brother Shardlake. Someone opened the door from behind the cage.
I stood before Sir William Maleverer and Sir Richard Rich, who was rolling up a land deed.
Perhaps when the bear saw your bent form in the dark, it thought you were a little female bear. Is there any news, Sir William, on the missing papers this fool lost?
Oh, they're long gone, Sir Richard, to the rebels.
But someone has stayed behind to give Broderick poison and attack this bent-back. Surely there is something to be said for groping Broderick again, here, to prick out what he knows?
Our orders are no. We'll soon be on our way back to London by boat.
If the Scotch king ever arrives.
If he doesn't show in York, the Scots will smart for it.
I must go, Sir William. The king requires me, if you will excuse me.
Where was Barrack when this happened?
I gave him permission to visit someone.
That girl, eh? Listen to me. From now on, you keep Barrack with you at all times.
Yes, sir.
You've another enemy in Sir Richard, by the way. He told me about it. If you cherish your reputation, your business, everything, you'll drop that case in London.
The next morning, Barrack and I walked to the castle for the hearing of the petitions. A high wind had risen overnight, full of gusty rain. I shuddered when Robert Aske's skeleton came into view, hanging in chains from the tower.
Matthew, good morning.
Giles.
Barrack, will you sit at the end here and take notes?
It felt strange after the horrors of the night to be in a dark panelled courtroom, surrounded by the trappings of power. Giles Wren and I sat at a table drawn up beneath the royal arms to adjudicate in a series of cases. Some of the complaints were against the King's Council of the North, and although its representative, a junior official, was a model of reasonableness, it struck me that the council had often been high-handed in its dealings with the Yorkers. One case troubled me greatly. It was a petition from a supplier of wood to St. Mary's, wood which had gone into the building of the grand pavilions for the Progress. The woodsman, an elderly fellow called Segwick, had provided the materials months ago, and according to his contract with the Council of the North, he should have been paid long before.
Seems clear enough. His payment is overdue. The business is small and he cannot afford to continue unpaid. The council's made a mullock of things, ordering more than it can pay for.
The council's representative told us that if the petition were granted, the council would be deluged with demands for payments. And the council's clerks were having difficulties managing the flow of cash. The woodsmen would be paid, but they needed time. He said that unless the petition was dismissed, he would be less accommodating with other petitioners before us. Justice for one man would mean less justice for others. I replied that we were here to do justice for all.
When was justice ever divorced from politics, Matthew?
Under the Constitution of England, the answer is always.
We're stuck with this. Master Segwick, step forward. You cannot doubt the council will meet its debt. They are the King's representatives. I know you have debts to meet yourself, but you will be paid soon. It is in hand.
The woodsman was dismissed. His shoulders slumped in dejection.
Why do you look at me like that, Matthew?
You overawed the poor man.
Lawyers must ever be good actors and play their part boldly for the common good.
Why are we in Broderick's old cell, sir?
He didn't bring poison in and no one brought it to him. I reason that it is here.
There's nothing here but his bed and chains.
I picked up the chains which were still fixed to their bolt on the wall and walked away, drawing them to their fullest length.
What are you doing?
I'm tracing the limits he could have walked. There could be something odd on the floor or the walls.
There's nothing there.
But he could walk to here and stare out at Robert Aske's bones.
I see them now, sir.
A gust of cold wind blew into the cell, bringing a smell with it. The smell from the handkerchief and the stench of rot and decay from the king's leg. There was a long leaden overflow pipe that ran down the outside wall and broke off on one side of the window. From the end of the pipe, a white slimy deposit hung, and something else, a couple of brown stems broken off from the fungus that had grown in this filth. I reached my hand through the bars and broke off a chink of the slimy deposit. I sniffed it and felt my stomach turn. I plucked a couple of the little mushrooms.
He wouldn't know what the mushrooms would do.
No. But he knew it would be nothing good. That perhaps it could kill him. What courage it must have taken to do that.
You sound as though you admire him.
I do, in a way. Jason. Mould from the mould warp.
God's bones, Shardlake. Broderick outwitted Radwinter. His reputation will never be the same when this gets out.
We know now, sir, that nobody else was involved. Radwinter is not guilty.
I'll put him back on duty. You've rescued him from suspicion.
I would not have anyone under false suspicion, sir. Even Radwinter.
Master Shardlake. Barrack, what brings you up here?
There is a matter I must discuss with you, Master Craig.
You sound serious, sir.
Barrack and I found him up in the bell tower looking out over the vast camp.
It is serious. You were seen a few nights ago going into the White Hart.
What is this to do with?
We have been there, and I learned what the innkeeper can provide.
Jesus!
Is that why you went there? Take your hands away from your face, sir.
I am ashamed.
I have no wish to shame you, Master Craig.
I may seem like a fellow who has succeeded in life. I have a wife, children, a good position, respect. But I am a bad, unworthy man, a sinful man. The priests, when I was a child, they hurt me, and I need to be hurt. 'Tis only then I feel safe.
Is that it all?
It is not all, sir.
Go on.
There is a house I frequent in Southwark. The madam there is a paid spy of Sir Richard Rich. You know my work, sir. I allocate accommodations to courtiers in the King's London palaces.
I do.
Sir Richard hungers for property like no man in England. If I certify to the Chamberlain that this or that London house that belonged to a monastery is unfit, then it will be sold cheaply. And Sir Richard will snap it up.
Is he blackmailing you?
He says he will tell my wife. She would leave me, tell the world of my sins, and I would never see my children again. That is the truth, sir.
Is he putting pressure on you now?
Yes. Malevola wants a London house. He and Rich will share the profit. Please, Master Shardlake, keep my secret.
I will say nothing, Master Craig. I would help you if I could.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You do not even mock me when most men would.
I know mockery too well.
You think you are a good custodian, Shardlake?
Broderick lay pale and drawn in his cell. I told him I knew how he'd poisoned himself, and suggested he give his interrogators what they wanted, because a pardon could be negotiated.
You think I would believe their promises? Robert Aske did. And consider how they served him.
I was merely...
No, you do not merely do anything, Shardlake. Do you know what I would like?
What's that?
To have you with me in London while they work me in the tower. I would have you watch what you will bring me to. God's blood, sir. Radwinter.
I am told you found out how Broderick poisoned himself.
His eyes looked tired, and the skin around them dark. The arrest had told on this man who loved his authority.
I am restored to my duties. Malevola says I have you to thank. You will enjoy the thought that I am beholden to you.
I do not care. I have other matters to attend to.
I put you down once, Shardlake, and I will do it again.
Outside, as Barrack and I walked quickly past the castle in the wind and the rain, a crowd of servants and clerks had gathered. Some made the sign of the cross as soldiers ran from the guardhouse. A pile of chains and bones was strewn across the grass. The wind had brought down Robert Aske's skeleton. The guards started picking up the white bones to preserve them from relic hunters.
That this should happen when the king is here.
The people will take it as an omen.
These are serious matters, sir. Even to talk of doubting the king's descent is treason.
The lamp cast a dim yellow light over the royal names on the family tree I had copied out again from memory. It was a dangerous thing to have done, but I needed to know why my life was threatened.
So the names in bold represent a false line?
Yes. Edward IV's descendants.
So who fathered him?
Some noble or gentleman about the Yorkist court 100 years ago? Perhaps someone called Blaborn. If there were evidence, and it were to be released at the same time as evidence about the Queen's dalliance with Culpeper, that could truly rock the throne. It would turn the majesty of the king into a complete mockery.
You laugh, sir.
The great Henry, nothing more than the descendant of a cuckoo in the royal nest. If I am right, the conspirators planned to reveal it when the rebellion got underway, only it never did. The conspirators were betrayed before it could start.
It doesn't help us find who's trying to kill you.
No, but it shows why someone connected with the conspiracy wants me dead. They may think I'm going to tell Cranmer what was in those papers, and that does not suit their timing. Now pass the lamp over, Barrack. I need to destroy this document.
God's blood. That shrine is rich enough to hold the bones of a monarch, not a long-dead archbishop.
His rage was mighty in the minster, Matthew. When he learned the Scotch king wasn't coming, his fury erupted at everything, at anything.
I will have every shrine in England down. I will have no authority in religion save mine.
Yes, you, Matthew. Would you come into a foreign land and place yourself at the mercy of someone like Henry?
Keep your voice down, Giles.
I speak the truth. The king will be returning to London now, Matthew. I must make it there.
The royal tents were taken down. The rich tapestries and furnishings were loaded onto carts. Such a melee, such a confusion. We were going back. At last. The Barrack and Tamazin were on the other side of the courtyard when Mistress Marlin approached me.
Master Shardlake, you will be pleased we are on our way, returning to London.
How do you fare, mistress?
Oh, I wish I had never been persuaded to come on this enterprise. Bernard was supposed to accompany us.
How is he in the tower, mistress? His friends will visit him?
Yes, they bring him food and clothes. But I fear for his health in there. Winter draws near.
Perhaps he will be freed by then. Mistress, may I ask what in particular he is accused of?
Of knowing 2 Yorkshire gentlemen now dead who were part of the spring conspiracy. Their remains were hung on the Fulford Gate till it was cleaned up for the king.
Did Bernard know them?
Yes, he did. They were old friends. One of them sent a letter to Bernard speaking of better times coming this year, but Bernard said it meant only for hope of a better harvest.
If that is all, it seems paltry.
It takes little to condemn a man these days. If poison is whispered in the right ears.
Whose ears, mistress?
Bernard bought land here, but another family wanted it. It would suit their purposes if he were attainted for treason. That family's name is Malevera.
Near the main exit to the courtyard, there was a black windowless carriage, guarded by soldiers. I was waved through and opened the door. Broderick and Radwinter were inside.
Ah, Master Shardlake. We've been looking forward to a visit. Sir Edward and I grow tired of each other.
You should have some exercise before we leave.
He's not to be seen abroad. He's to be kept close till we reach London.
I am worried how pale he is. He may not be fit to travel.
What you think does not matter. Those are the rules. I have been helping him pass the hours by telling him of the Lollards Tower in London and some of the prisoners I have known there.
He seeks to frighten me with talk of burnings and disembowelments.
You are a vile creature, Radwinter.
Thank you. I hear, Master Shardlake, you talk to the prisoner about the king. I expect soft, stupid pity from you. But if it is more than that, beware.
Here's Genesis, sir.
Good. Still now, good horse.
How long before we reach London, sir?
4 days to Hull, perhaps, and maybe a week on the boat.
So in a couple of weeks we may be safe back working at Lincoln's Inn. Back to the grind.
So you're definitely coming back to work in chambers?
Looks like it, sir. Here's Wren.
Matthew, there you are. I fear I have a problem. My horse got a sharp stone in her shoe this morning she cannot possibly ride out, and I don't know what to do.
Take my horse.
I'll walk beside you.
Genesis would be better for you, Giles. I can ride Barrack's horse. She knows me. Genesis is a calm horse.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. You watch over me like a son.
Oh, monk, no!
Here, Master Wren. Let me help you up.
Thank you, Barrack.
Genesis reared up on his hind legs and then bucked to unseat the old man, who plunged head first from the saddle. Barrack stepped forward. Giles fell heavily on top of him, and they crashed to the ground. Giles was all right, but Barrack was not.
God's blood, my ankle!
Giles, are you all right?
James, it was broken!
It wasn't, but he couldn't walk. When I checked Genesis, a thin trickle of blood ran from underneath his saddle. He had bucked because someone had placed a little thorny piece of branch from a rosebush there. It was another attempt on me.
You were telling me someone has been trying to kill you?
They think I saw the papers in that casket. And the irony is I hardly saw any of them.
No wonder you have looked strained.
I was given a new horse, while Genesis was led by one of the soldiers. We rode out of York, the king and queen and their households in front, then the nobility, then the officials with us lawyers at the rear. And behind us rumbled the great train of carts. Lines of mounted soldiers rode 2 deep on either side of us. We rode through the day till we saw a hill rise unexpectedly high out of the marshland, crowned with an ancient church and thick with trees. A straggle of houses lined the steep sides.
There it is. Home.
You know it, Giles?
I was born there.
We halted at the bottom of the hill, where a large mansion stood in the midst of fields carved out of the marshland. Tents sprung up all around. We were not there long when a small man in a doublet of green and white emerged from the crowd and bowed before me.
Sir, your presence is required.
Get up. Please.
I had seen the king, and now here I was before the queen. Close to, she looked younger than ever, scarce more than a child.
Lady Rochford tells me Mistress Reedbourne and this man, Barrack, are under your protection.
I looked behind me. Barrack was leaning on his crutch, and Tamazin stood beside him.
Are they?
Yes, Your Majesty.
I saw you at Fulford Cross. I was sorry for how you were treated there.
It is of no matter.
I have been told there was an attempt on your life today.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Do you know why anyone would do such a thing, sir?
No, Your Majesty. But it is not the first such attack.
Lady Rochford, you seem agitated.
You saw how he looked at me, Your Majesty. He thinks I had something to do with it.
Do you?
I do not know who may be responsible.
I called you here to assure you that it was nothing to do with my household.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I believe it has to do with another matter.
What matter?
It has to do with the conspiracy.
Do not tell me. They tell me nothing of politics, and I do not wish to know. As for what these people saw at St. Mary's, you have all given your word you would keep silent. I rely on that.
It was a mischance you saw Culpeper that night. The Queen only desired a little company of her own age. There was nothing improper. I was with them all the time.
That is the truth. Will you believe the word of your Queen?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Then I thank you.
Crack me a fart, the Queen!
Jack, clean your mouth. Master Shardlake, I think she spoke the truth, sir.
So do I, Tamazin. They have nothing to do with this. I'm more certain than ever.
Look, sir, over there watching us. Sir Richard Rich.
My heart sank that he'd seen me come from the Queen's tent. He'd make something of it, and not to my good. Tired of the barging, shoving crowds, I left Barrack and Tamazin and walked up to Holme village. I passed the prisoner's carriage and thought of him stuck in there with Radwinter. Beyond the village, the hill grew steeper. At the summit, the path came out onto a stretch of open ground in front of the church. I looked down on the camp, spreading itself out over the fields for the night.
On a clear day, you can see York Minster.
Giles, you startled me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was over in the churchyard and saw you coming.
I needed to get away from the camp. I breathe easier up here.
The world's been turned upside down since I grew up here, Matthew. And York and the North have ended on the bottom.
Perhaps things will settle down now after the progress.
I don't think the king has done much to assuage the bitterness up here. He's bought the gentry, but you only need to look at the faces of ordinary people to see what their feelings are.
You sound like those who grudge all rich men and would pull them down.
No, we must have kingship to have order. It is unfortunate that England has the king it does.
It is.
Would you like to see my parents' grave?
Edward Wren, 1421 to 1486. And his wife, Agnes, 1439 to 1488. At rest.
They both died when I was a student. My mother pined away and died 18 months after my father.
She was much younger.
I was the child of his old age.
It is a fine memorial.
Would you leave me a moment, Matthew? I will join you in a minute.
The sun was below the horizon now, the churchyard dim. I walked through the gate and down by the trees that bordered the open space. I heard a movement behind me and turned to see Janet Marlin facing me. She wore a dark coat with a hood and was holding a crossbow aimed at my heart.
This time, I have you.
It is you who has been trying to kill me. At the spit, the bear and the thorn.
It is.
You killed the glazier.
He wouldn't give up the casket, even though I told him I came from Bernard. Don't move!
You are on a mission from your fiancé. So Bernard was a conspirator.
He was, but he regrets what he did. He wanted the contents of the box destroyed because they could endanger the throne.
Behind her, I saw a movement. It was Giles, his stick raised in both hands.
The box that you took from Oldroy's house. You knew some of those papers incriminated Bernard.
Mistress, I hardly saw them. I saw nothing about your fiancé.
Nonsense! You don't trust Malevola, but when you get to London, you will tell your master, Cranmer. You must know.
With all his force, Giles brought his stick down on her head. The crossbow clicked, and the bolt buried itself in a tree next to me. Janet Marlin toppled face down to the ground. I knelt down beside her and grasped her lifeless arm.
God's breath. Have I killed her?
Yes, Giles. But you saved my life.
God.
You heard all?
Enough. By God.
Come. We must tell Malevola.
Janet Marlin.
I fear Tamazin is in for hard questioning, Jack. Malevola sent soldiers to try and find the papers in Janet Marlin's quarters, but there was no sign.
Something troubles you, sir.
Janet Marlin never actually admitted to taking the papers. Surely she, of all people, would have made sure I was dead when I was struck down and the papers stolen at King's Manor.
She has a confederate?
No. I think she worked alone on her mission. But why did she not kill me at the church when she had the chance? She made me stand there. I think that if she had had the time, she might have asked me if I knew where the papers were.
Who could it be, then?
Anyone. Anyone at all in all this crowd of people.
The progress moved slowly towards Hull. Master Wren seemed in better health than before, although at times his face was drawn in pain.
We're getting there, Matthew.
Then on to London. It is a good thought.
I've seen that guarded carriage when we camp at night. You visit it.
It's Broderick.
Sir Edward Broderick of Hartington.
I am responsible for seeing he's looked after, at the request of Archbishop Cranmer.
You carry a heavy load, Matthew.
We had a 3-night stop at Leconfield before the last day's ride to Hull. Barrack and I were given a pleasant room at the back of an inn. Master Wren, who insisted in paying for us, as well as himself, was in the next room. Sir William Malevola told me that because of the bad weather, there'd be a delay in getting back to London, and the King had ordered that Broderick, despite being weakened, was to be racked in the Hull jail. I slept little. I lay awake, thinking of what was coming to Broderick. In the morning, Giles Wren took me to the local lawyer's library down by the river. There was a very old lawyer. He looked over 80, sleeping in front of the fire. We were warned kindly not to wake him if we wanted to study because he liked to talk. As we returned to the inn by way of Lowgate, I saw a group of young courtiers walking down the middle of the street. I recognised Master Derham and, a little behind him, Master Culpepper. Culpepper met my eye and then, without a word, left the group and vanished up a side street. Derham waved me over and Giles away.
I'm surprised you dare show your face about town after the fool you made of yourselves before the king at Fulford Cross.
Have you business with me, sir? What have you done to Master Culpepper that he flees at the sight of you?
Who is Master Culpepper?
I saw you coming out of the Queen's tent at home. You, sir, and a young man and woman. Take care with whom you meddle.
We had official business.
Had you now?
I stared back at him. It worried me, the link he made between us, Culpepper, the Queen and I. I had just returned to the inn when Sir Richard Rich accosted me.
I have come to give you a final chance.
Sir?
To drop the Belknap case.
No, sir.
I know you are in need of money because of your father's estate. I will give you £50 to advise the London Guildhall to drop the case.
No, sir.
You may find, then, that your life takes a nasty turn.
Do you threaten me with violence, sir?
Is no your answer?
It is.
Very well.
I went back to the library alone, in the hope that the old man Swan would still be there.
What is it, sir?
I am sorry I woke you, brother. My name is Matthew Shardlake. I am here with the King's Progress.
Forgive me if I do not rise. I am 86. Alan Swan, barrister at law, retired. So, the bad weather keeps you here?
Ah, I fear so.
I remember the great gale of 1460, the year of the Battle of Wakefield.
You remember that?
I do. Hard times.
You will remember Richard III's seizure of the throne after King Edward V died. The disappearance of the princes in the Tower.
Ah, yes.
When Richard took the throne, there were rumours that his brother Edward IV's marriage was invalid. And was there not something about King Edward's own legitimacy?
That is a matter no one has spoken of for many years.
I am something of an antiquarian, sir.
It was an interesting story. Our king's father suppressed all talk of it.
Yes, I heard.
Edward's mother, Cecily Neville, said in public that Edward IV's father had not been the late Duke of York, her husband. She said Edward was illegitimate, the son of a liaison she had with an archer when they were in France during the wars. That made a mighty stir. There's a bitter draught from that window. The winds...
Do you remember the archer's name?
Blayborn, from Kent. Edward Blayborn.
So it's true. The king is the grandson of a Kentish archer.
That's how it looks. In the Tower, after the conspiracy was discovered, someone must have confessed on the rack to the existence of those papers, but had not known where they were or who had them.
The king knows. He'll have known from the start.
I thought She Knows was about the Queen, but it was about Janet Marlin.
Will you tell Malevola?
No. We are going home, and we are taking dangerous secrets with us. We must keep our mouths shut, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Sir William Malevola had to stop the racking of Broderick when the prisoner passed out and took several minutes to rouse. Malevola told me that my job with Broderick was over and that he was in charge. His orders, he said, came from the Privy Council. I spoke to the prisoner once after that, when we were at sea and on our way to London. The strong southeasterly winds had held us in Hull for many days, but finally the Progress left on its long journey home. One morning Broderick was led onto the deck, his hands and feet chained, a scrawny, pitiful figure beside the two soldiers guarding him. He asked to talk to me.
I hear you were nearly killed at home by Bernard Locke's fiancée.
I was.
I wanted you to know it was nothing to do with me. Malevola questioned me about it. He used forceful methods.
I am sorry for it. We know Janet Marlin acted alone. We never found the papers she took, if it was she that took them. I wonder if someone else stole them and they are in the hands of the conspirators now. I am right, aren't I? You know. So you are sorry she tried to kill me?
I am. You have shown me kindness in your way.
Yet if it served your purposes, you would kill me, would you not?
Not with pleasure. I view no one's death with pleasure, even where it may be necessary.
I do not like the idea that anyone's death is necessary.
Mine is. You accepted that, or you would not have taken the mission to look after my welfare. Why did you do it? You do not belong with a company of brutes like Malevola and Radwinter.
I let myself become obligated to the Archbishop.
They will not make me talk in London.
They will.
No, they will not. I promise that. And remember, Master Shardlake, what I told you once. The time of the mold warp is almost over. You know, I think you could have been one of us. You may be yet.
Giles Wren was confined to his bed on the boat, his face drawn in pain. He brightened when I told him he would be my guest at my home in London while we looked for his nephew. At the same time, Barrack was violently seasick and complained bitterly that he only had one leg that worked properly. I agreed with Tamazin that he, too, should stay with me when we returned to London, and there he could rest. In the middle of that night, Sir William Malevola shook me from my sleep and ordered me to accompany him to the prisoner's cabin. Broderick was hanging dead from the ceiling. His shirt had been twisted into a thick length of material, and one end slung over a large beam.
Radwinter claims someone knocked on the door, and when he stepped out, he was struck from behind.
But hasn't Broderick killed himself?
No, his wrists are manacled behind him. Someone helped him do this.
Where is Radwinter now?
His story doesn't add up. He says he was hit on the head, but I see no mark of a blow. I've placed him under arrest for the murder of Broderick. By God, when we get to London, we will find out why, one way or another. Our last chance of finding out more about the conspirators. Gone.
What do you think happened, sir?
When I last saw Broderick, he seemed calm, almost resigned. He told me he would never talk. What if someone had already been to see him and offered him this way out?
Go on, sir.
Struck Radwinter, took his keys, strung Broderick up, and then pulled on his feet and broke his neck.
It's an awful way to choose to die.
For the rest of the voyage, Radwinter shrieked and cried in his cell, calling down plagues on Malevola. When we reached the Thames, I watched from the rail as the ship sailed up the broad estuary between the mud banks. Soon, on the north bank, the Tower of London loomed above us. Giles joined Barrack and Tamazin and I as the boat tied up at the wharf. Half a dozen soldiers carrying pikes escorted Radwinter away. As I descended the plank, I felt a hand on my arm.
You're under arrest, Master Shardlake. You're suspected of treason.
There is some mistake.
No mistake, sir. There is a warrant.
Let me see, Sergeant. I'm a lawyer, Giles Wren. It is signed by Archbishop Cranmer.
This is wrong. Let him go. Archbishop Cranmer gave him assurance.
Step away, you.
Do as he says, Jack. Where are you taking me?
The Tower.
Find out what's happening, Jack.
I will, sir.
In heavy rain, a big rowing boat transported Radwinter and I to the Tower. Radwinter was placed in a cell, while outside it, the Deputy Warden of the Tower, Sir Jacob Rawling, introduced himself to me.
It is sad when someone of your rank comes to this.
I do not know why I am arrested, sir.
The matter touches the Queen. Sir William Malevola accuses you of concealing certain matters between Francis Derham and the Queen.
Derham?
Master Derham is suspected of dalliance with Queen Catherine. It is believed you knew of this and kept quiet. My advice to you is to think carefully before I question you, and take some time to reflect on where you are.
I did nothing but reflect. Manacled in a long, chambered cell with a low roof, Radwinter sat on one of the two beds, his hands and feet chained. He was not well in his mind, and just stared at the wall, muttering. In the morning, Radwinter was dragged off for questioning, and Jack appeared. He told me Archbishop Cranmer was at Hampton Court. There was a big meeting with the king holding court. Barrack left, and then, as I was brought out to be questioned by Sir Jacob Rawling, they brought Radwinter back. His bloody mouth gaped open and half his teeth were gone.
This is your one chance to answer me truthfully, Shardlake.
Yes, Sir Jacob.
The Queen has been placed under confinement following information received by Archbishop Cranmer that before her marriage she had dalliance with Francis Derham. There may be a pre-contract of marriage between them which causes difficulties in her marriage to the King.
I know nothing of this, sir.
What was your business with the Queen at home?
It concerned one of her servants, Tamsin Reedbourne. She has a relationship with my assistant, Jack Barrack. She was in some trouble with Lady Rochford over it.
I have a report from Sir William Maleverer that a senior official's servant overheard you at York telling Francis Derham that if he could get into the Queen's drawers, it would serve the King right for the way he treated you at Fulford Cross.
That is a lie. I would guess the official who employs the servant is Sir Richard Rich.
It is not. He is a clerk for Master Simon Craig.
Craig is in Rich's pay. Question the servant, sir, I beg you.
You are keeping things back. You have had your chance. You will go back to your cell. There you will see what has happened to Radwinter, and perhaps you'll have the sense to speak the truth before they really start to work on you.
I was marched back to the cell, and there Radwinter was dead. He'd used his shirt as a noose, and now hung from the window, his neck broken, his mouth open and smeared with blood. He'd done it for shame. They cut down Radwinter's body and took him away. Outside, the rain slashed down. I sat alone in the cell, knowing what awaited me. The rack, the vice, and hot irons. I hoped Barrack would come. They led me to a big windowless room with smoke-blackened walls and the rack in the corner. A heavy-set boy in his teens was tending a brazier's coals, and in front of it stood a big bull of a man in a leather apron. He pulled me up while the boy ripped off my doublet and my shirt.
Is the knife eating, Tom? Now, you'll answer quickly. What do you know of relations between Francis Derham and the Queen?
Nothing.
We'll have some teeth out first.
The big man grabbed my head and forced my mouth open. I tasted the boy's sweaty hands and then felt metal in my mouth.
Now, what do you know of the Queen and Francis Derham? What is it?
His orders to stop!
In a daze, my mouth bleeding and my torn clothes wrapped around me, I was led back through the corridors to a central area where Barrack stood.
What have they done to you?
They tried to take my irons off, but the manacle on my right wrist remained stuck fast. I sobbed as we descended to the Thames, where a wherry waited in the rain.
I wouldn't have got you out if it wasn't for Master Craig.
Craig?
Rich set you up, and Craig knew nothing about it. But once I told him, he wrote me a letter to take to the Chamberlain's office.
I thought he'd betrayed me.
Wrap up. You'll see Cranmer now.
What happened to your face?
I was taken to the torture place in the tower. They broke a tooth off.
I did not sanction that. Simon Craig has told me about the hold that Rich has over him.
Will Craig lose his position?
I fear so. His visits to the stews are one thing, but he should not have let Rich blackmail him. And Maleverer will lose his place on the Council of the North. I will see to that. You truly knew nothing of Derham's relations with the Queen?
Nothing, my lord.
They will use harsh methods against Durham in the Tower, but it must be. I have been set to question the Queen herself. There is more to come out. Other men are mentioned already. The King does not yet believe the Queen has deceived him, but he will. And God help her then. I am sorry for what happened to you. You will receive more than your strict due. I do not blame you for failing to save Broderick. You were not to know that Radwinter was mad.
I do not think Radwinter killed Broderick.
Then who did?
I think someone helped him kill himself. I believe that person may also have stolen the papers.
Go home now, Master Shardlake. Rest. You understand, the harsh measures the King takes are necessary. He is chosen by God, appointed by him to guide England into the paths of wisdom and truth.
At home, Barrack worked on the manacle for half an hour, but without success. The lock was rusted inside. Upstairs, Giles Wren was sitting in bed, resting.
What have they done to you?
Some work. But I am all right.
Matthew, this is not the country I once knew.
I slept for nearly 20 hours. When I woke, it was morning and the sky was heavy with dark clouds. I looked out at my sopping back garden. My eye went to the far wall, where the Lincoln's Inn authorities had grubbed up an old orchard for replanting. I had warned them without trees to absorb the groundwater, the bottom of the slope could flood. Barrack and Tamazin were out to track down a locksmith friend of his to see if he would come and get the manacle off. I went to Gray's Inn to see if I could find out from the Chief of Clerks about Giles's nephew, Martin Dakin.
Martin Dakin is dead, sir. He died the winter before last from a congestion of the lungs.
Oh, that is too hard. All his uncle's efforts to get here when he is aged and not well. Had he a wife or any children?
I fear not. The inn treasurer took charge of his belongings when he died. I can fetch the papers from the inn treasurer on the disposition of the estate. There may be a name there. He left some money to St. Giles' Church in Cripplegate, and the rest to a single legatee. There, see for yourself.
Ah, Matthew, you're home.
You look better by the hour, Giles, and eating, too.
Your hot pottage is good for me. Is there any more news of the Queen?
I walked to Gray's Inn to seek out Martin Dakin. I wanted to help you.
Did you find him?
I found he died near 2 years ago.
Martin is dead?
I think you know he is. I think you knew before I came to York. You once told me a good lawyer needs to be a good actor. I think you have been acting since the day we met.
How can you say such a thing?
I found Martin Dakin had left everything to you. His money was sent to you in York, and you signed a receipt for it in March of 1540, 18 months ago.
Well, some impostor.
No, I saw the signature. It is yours.
Matthew, you're my good friend, but you wound me.
You invented the story of wishing to reconcile with Martin Dakin to get me to help you to London. The question puzzling me was, why did you want to come to London now when you knew you were dying? It had to be something very important. But then I remembered when you first mentioned coming here. It was after I was knocked out in York. It was you who knocked me out. You took the papers to bring to your fellow conspirators in London. And you killed Janet Marlin before she could reveal she had not taken the papers.
I saved you from her.
For your own ends.
I always saw you as a friend, Matthew. It grieves me to lie to you, and I would never have hurt you.
Did you kill Broderick?
I hoped him kill himself. He wanted to die. He was a brave man. Sir Edward Broderick held out under terrible torture to keep secret certain matters that affected me.
He knew all along the secret of your true identity.
What do you know about me, Matthew?
Old Brother Swan, in the library in Hull. He told me of the old legend that Blayborn was the real father of King Edward IV. I did not tell you. I feared it would be dangerous for you to know, but of course you knew already, better than anyone.
Stop now. Let me walk out of your house. You will never see me again.
It is too late for that. At home, your parents' grave, the name of your father was Edward, and he was born in 1421, near 50 when you were born. You said you were the child of his old age. He would have been old enough to sire a son in 1442 when King Edward IV was born. I think Edward Blaeborn was your father.
Yes, he was. Henry VIII is my great-nephew, and I saw him at Fulford Cross with evil in his face and his foul smell. The false king whose grandsire was the son of an archer.
When did you first know?
My father told me on his deathbed. He wanted to dictate a confession to me. Like many Kent boys, he entered the king's service as an archer. He was sent to garrison duty in France and joined the guard in attendance upon the Duchess of York.
Cecily Neville.
She was young and lonely. She befriended him, and one night he ended in her bed. When she fell pregnant, she pretended it was her husband's, and my father was sent away with enough money to start a new life. Coins in a decorated jewel box.
Why did Cecily Neville not produce your father as evidence when she confessed in 1483?
She had no idea where he was. On his deathbed, my father was in agony of soul. All his life he felt he'd committed a terrible sin, been responsible for a man taking the throne who had no right to be king. He made me swear that night on the Holy Bible that if ever a right time came to use his confession to bring the true line back to the throne, I would use it.
Yet you have waited 50 years.
Yes. I did nothing. I watched as the Tudors ruined Yorkshire. Watched as the present king stole lands, positions, destroyed the monasteries, perverted our faith. Stood by in the early years, at least, because I did not believe my father's story.
But now?
I ferreted out the truth in old books and manuscripts. I found the titulus in a chest of discarded papers in York Minster. The king knows. He has no right to the throne. He and his father have always known this. The fact that the papers existed became known through torture, probably, but no one knew who had them. Broderick did, though. My task now is to find other sympathisers in London. And come with me, Matthew. Be a part of it. The new dawn.
The king is a monster, but no.
You are still a reformist at heart? You oppose the restoration of true religion.
I am beyond allegiance to either side. I oppose you because your belief in the rightness of your cause blinds you to the reality of what would happen. There would be bloodshed, anarchy, women left widows, children orphans, lands laid waste. Papists and reformers, you are so alike. You think you have a holy truth, but it is a delusion. Wicked men benefit while the poor cry out to heaven for justice.
I should have realised. You're not a man of faith. I'll leave you to your peaceful life.
Give me the papers and I will let you walk free.
I cannot.
He grasped the bowl of hot pottage from the table and threw it in my face. I drew my dagger and followed him out. I squelched through the mud of the garden, following his footprints into the orchard. Against the wall there was a pond 30 feet across. Wren struck me from behind. I dropped my dagger and fell. He was on me, and then the dagger was in his hand. I hit out with my manacled wrist, the iron catching him hard on the side of his head. He fell sideways into the margin of the pool. I put both hands around his neck and forced his head under the water. I kept his head under till he went still. After a time, I felt through his pockets and found a thick pack of papers wrapped in oilskin. I took it, then turned Wren over so he lay face down.
What in God's name's happened? You're covered in mud.
Giles Wren is dead. I found him in the orchard. He must have collapsed and drowned.
What was he doing out there in the rain?
I gave him bad news today. His nephew died 2 years ago.
I'm going to look.
I sat by the fire, stirring it with the poker. When Barrack returned, he laid my dagger on the table.
I found this by the pool.
We must tell the coroner of his death first thing tomorrow. There will be no doubt of the finding. Giles Wren drowned.
Yes, sir.
The lie protected Barrack as well as me, but I knew he knew. I poked the fire one more time. The flames stirred on a last fragment of paper, and the name of Edward Blaeborn disappeared forever.
Sir! Sir!
3 months later, Barrack stood beside me by the Thames. Thomas Culpeper and Francis Derham had been executed, and Lady Rochford, who'd gone mad, and poor Queen Catherine.
I have some news. I've asked Tamsin to marry me, and she's agreed.
Are you sure it is what you want?
Yes, I am. And it seems I may have a son before long.
Oh, that is good news. Archbishop Cranmer has written to me that there's a vacancy for an advocate in the Court of Requests, and he has put my name forward. I will be working for common folk, ordinary people.
I'd like that too, sir.
Good. Well, let's make a start, shall we?